Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here and welcome back to Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, where we are in the midst of the trial of Nagito killing himself. Death by spear impalement and perhaps poison? I mean, we haven't yet discovered exactly what the use of that was, but I'm sure eventually all things will be made clear, so let's continue.
How about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
Sure, that sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
I think it means we examine each individual aspect and deal with just that before we move on to someone else, or something else rather.
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
That should be easy.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up, and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it's just before that, that's it, could it be? The state of the spear, and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment. If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure out where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Alrighty. Let's try not to get smushed or fall off the edge. Oh, well, failed on the first one. Definitely got smushed. Yep. Stuff showing up at the last second. Yep, my reflexes aren't great. Alright, jump. Where was the spilled spear just before it impaled Nagito? It was above him? Draped over the steel girder? Sweet. Oh, what is that? That's new. Moving obstacles now? That's not kosher. Stop it, game. What do you think I am, Sonic the Hedgehog? I'll just stay down here. Get a boost? Yeah. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? I mean, several things. A ceiling girder and the ceiling itself and, you know, that kind of stuff. The sky above all of that. You blue bastards. Well, at least they aren't too detrimental to us, unlike having to jump between the different paths in the last trial, which just about ended me. Get over. There we go. Jump. Come on, give me a question. Alright. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? The cord? Oh, we're already there. No moving at all. Yeah, it was draped over. We can tell that by the blood smear that's in a straight line there. Ooh, good deal.
It's all coming together. The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
Sorta.
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
No.
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
Yep.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
Mm-hmm.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide Like that?
Yeah, he was batshit crazy, dude. Have you not interacted with him at all?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that.
Mm-hmm.
If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I mean, I don't know if I agree completely with that. There are people who might be willing to do that, but everything's pointing to Nagito doing it himself, so...
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Yeah. You okay, Fuyuhiko? Something wrong? Why are you upset?
Then, this is for real?
Yeah, I mean, everything so far has been for real. Why should this be any different?
He really committed suicide?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Don't be upset about it.
Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Yep.
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear?
Not necessarily. He could have done all the wounds before he ever slung the spear up there.
That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
Mm-hmm.
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far?
Yeah. I mean, he overlooked quite a bit that's letting us figure this out, but all in all, he did a pretty good job of pulling this off.
That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
You just answered your own question.
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake.
Or, yeah, to get us all to die. We'd convict the wrong person, and then we'd all get punished.
By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer.
Mm-hmm.
His goal was to get us all executed.
Yep.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Yeah. I absolutely agree with your expression this time. It is horrifying.
Did he want us to die that bad?
Apparently.
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody's surprised. Jeez, and I was starting to feel a little sympathetic towards him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he died. That's the form his malice took. I had forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right?
I think he thought the traitor might step forward to scan their card with the bombs, maybe?
Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
Yeah, probably as a failsafe.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick.
Probably.
He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi.
Mm-hmm.
He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
I'm not sure. I mean, there's also the revelation of the traitor. That'd be 2 reasons, right?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. The bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
Well, I mean, there's still a couple of things that aren't explained, like what role the poison played. Was it in the fire grenades? Or if it wasn't, what was in the fire grenades? Were they tampered with?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Well, say it. Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or?
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
Now I'm worried. What are we missing? This is happening way too quickly.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh?
Oh god, I'm not sure.
That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right?
What are we missing?
It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
Are we missing something? Did he not actually kill himself? Did someone set this up to make it look like he killed himself?
No, hold on a sec.
Yeah, Hajime's worried too. And Monokuma's upset that we're not voting immediately.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more.
I mean, it never hurts to be absolutely certain, especially when your life's on the line.
I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
The poison.
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death.
But nobody but me and Chiaki know about the poison, so it's understandable that they are not aware.
Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Something related to Nagito's death. And it's something that even he couldn't have messed with.
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
Something related to Nagito's death. A piece... I hate it when it does that. It's hard to read the words through there. Piece of evidence that even he couldn't have messed with. What could he not have messed with? The blood on the girder? What does this say? The victim is Nagito Komaeda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs, if I could stop being tongue-tied. Furthermore, there's a laceration. Huh. Could it be the Monokuma? Yeah, he couldn't mess with the Monokuma file. Is that what we're talking about? Because this was generated after his death?
I see!
Okay, cool.
Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
It doesn't mention a cause of death. It just says multiple stab wounds and impaled by a spear. It doesn't actually say what killed him. Noon sharp. Yeah, it does not mention the cause of death. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file that Chiaki is worried about is... What is it? What's hidden in the Monokuma file? Oh, God. Is it cause of death? Apparently so. Ah, darn it. Crap. Jeez Louise. Ah! F. Ah, darn it, I need the O. Oh, Lord. I am effing this up really bad. Oh my god, that almost killed me.
I got it! In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Not only is there a spear stabbed into his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not?
Apparently not, because it's not mentioned.
The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was a cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
I have doubts also that being impaled through the stomach like that would have killed him fast enough for him to have been dead by the time we got to him after the fire. Of course, we're not exactly sure how long it was between him stabbing himself and us getting in there, because Monokuma made us wait till the stuff cleared, which is, we're guessing, is the poison. So, is the poison the actual cause of death?
Well, Monokuma,
I plead the fifth!
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
That's true.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Almost feels like cheating, doesn't it?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
No, I still think it was a suicide, but I think the actual cause of death officially was the poison.
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Was he trying to get one of us convicted as the killer? Like I at first thought before we even saw him dead, that he was trying to use one of us as a murder weapon? But then that would backfire, right? Because in the case of Peko and Fuyuhiko, Monokuma said that if they could prove that she was just a weapon, then she wouldn't be guilty.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me.
I'm not sure what Hajime's getting at now.
For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
I mean, I agree that he was full of malice, and if he could do something worse than getting us all killed, he certainly would have, but I don't get what you're saying.
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
Yeah, I had considered him to be more clever than he's shown himself to be in this case, but...
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh?
I mean, I believe in his insanity.
Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
No.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote?
No. No, I'm worried now. Something's wrong here.
I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied. Even if it's just to be safe.
I mean, that's the best reason to keep going, right?
You are right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Yovo, you only vote once.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
Thank you.
This is friggin' annoying.
It is, but necessary.
You guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Thank you.
Hey, Monokuma! You heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
Even
We've
Akane.
come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be alright. That's what I believe.
Aww. Splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
Maybe we could, unless Monokuma forces us to vote at some point, could we just stay in this trial until the timer runs out? If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. Then this situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along? No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. What is it, Monokuma? Oh, okay, so it's not going to be quick. We're just halfway through.
No.
Man, my heart was racing like crazy when I thought the voting time was gonna start, but... Well, if you think about it rationally, there's no way it was gonna happen. We haven't done this bit yet. Most of the players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Monami? Hey, how much longer are you planning to sulk? Let's get along like we always do.
Well, she certainly has given him the silent treatment.
All right, you passed. Friendship is measured by how long you can stand the silence when you're all alone with someone else. So, Monami and I are the bestest of best friends.
Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now.
Enough! Why do I have to be hated that much?
Besides the fact that you snap at me like that, I don't trust you at all, not even a teensy tiny 1 millimeter bit.
How sad. Distrusting your friend is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know?
No? We aren't even friends in the first place.
Then as your older brother, let me say this.
You're not even my brother.
It's sad to live a life without friendship. That's even sadder than watching a high school rom-com full of guys.
Well, there may be some demands for that.
Oh,
I fell for it. I totally took the man bait. I'll say it again. The interactions between Monami and Monokuma are the best parts of this game.
I'm Monami. By now, there's nothing more for me to say.
Alright, well, let's get on with the trial then.
Anyway, my chest is full of pride right now.
Glad to hear it.
Everyone is united against despair. They're totally awesome. That's why I'm gonna fight too.
I certainly hope you do a better job than you've done so far, though I will admit that you taking all those hits from Monokuma and just standing there was very impressive.
I will fight the only way I can. I'm gonna show that guy my fearsome retaliation.
Alright, I look forward to it.
That's basically it.
Okay.
So if we're working together, where do we start? With the cause of death missing from the Monokuma file?
Why don't we try removing all our preconceived notions before we discuss this?
Agreed.
In the beginning, our discussion advanced by assuming Nagito's death was caused by the spear.
Or we could just reveal that we know about the poison.
It's better to confirm if there are any other possibilities. That's what I think.
Other possibilities. Huh.
If something other than the spear killed Nagito, all I can think of is the knife stabbed into his hand, but
the wounds that were caused by it were all superficial. The worst one was the one in his hand.
That was definitely a gruesome wound, but it wouldn't be the fatal wound, don't you think?
Unless he's a hemophiliac?
If you think the cuts on his legs and left arm aren't the fatal wounds...
Are we finished already?
No.
I feel like it's possible that we overlooked something.
Overlooked, huh?
Then let's bring up whatever we can think of, one after the other. That might clear some things up.
exactly. We should cooperate at a time like this.
A fatal wound that wasn't the spear. Well, I mean, it's not actually a wound by any definition of that I know of wound. We don't even know if it actually exists, but if it does, we need to find out what it is no matter what. I mean, it's this. Whether this is the right bullet or not, I don't know, but we'll go with that.
Let us consider a different fatal wound.
It's not the knife in his right hand, right? It's not the other wounds, right?
With all those wounds,
Right.
maybe he simply bled to death.
I mean, he'd have to be a hemophiliac for that to be the case.
There's no way he burned to death.
Right? There
Was
was...
the cause of death something that cannot
Oh,
be seen?
yeah, this is it. This is it. This is it. Get it.
I agree with that. That's it. I totally forgot about that possibility. If the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method.
We even have evidence of poison, which is great.
Poison?
It is true that poison is not something we can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden?
I remember, when I went to investigate Nagito's cottage, I discovered something really strange. Inside the refrigerator, I found a bottle of Monokuma's special poison.
Specifically for poisoning to death.
Poison?
Additionally, that's a poison made specifically for killing. I see. Now that you mention it, there's no way a toxin like that doesn't relate to the case at all.
Right? I mean, aren't all poisons or most poisons made specifically for killing something? I guess an argument can be made that some poisons are specifically to make you ill, but not kill you.
If poison was the cause of death, it would not leave an obvious wound on Nagito's body.
However, it's common for blood blotches to appear on a body that's been poisoned.
Well, it depends upon the poison though, right?
I see. You sure seem to know a lot about medicine.
Well, I mean, he's a Yakuza. He knows a lot about killing.
What does that mean?
But even if blood blotches appear, if the body was already covered in blood,
And most of his body was clothed. If there were blood blotches, they could have been under the clothing too. And by blotches, I assume you mean like lesions or hemorrhages?
there's no way we'd notice them easily, right?
Did he wound his body just to camouflage them?
I mean, there could have been that too. I hadn't actually considered that.
That's also a possibility.
But still, both of Nagito's hands were full. So how would he drink poison?
It was airborne.
His left hand was tied up and gripping the spear, and his right hand had a knife stuck in it.
If it was a slow-acting poison, it is possible he consumed it in advance.
Yeah, but he couldn't have been certain that we would even go to the warehouse, so...
No, the warning label on the bottle explicitly states the effect is instant.
I mean, in that case, we are assuming that the poison that was used was the poison in the bottle, which I think is very, very likely, but I think that it is wrong to assume that it is certainly that. You know what I mean? It could have been that he planted the bottle in his cabin knowing that we would look there and then used a different poison to kill himself.
Then it's impossible. Both his hands were full just before he died.
And this is when the hardtail appears.
Oh, God.
You're totally overvaluing that tail.
Yeah.
His mouth was covered with duct tape, you know. If he wanted to drink poison, how'd he get it past his lips?
You are assuming that poisons have to be ingested. There's several ways. Aerosol, there's contact poisons.
If there's no way he could have drank the poison, it might be impossible. Just kidding. It's not like we're out of possibilities yet.
Are there any left?
Hell no. No matter how you slice it, he was totally killed by that spear.
No, I don't think he was.
Since we've already ruled out so many possibilities, it might be easier to think about what really killed him. Operation Elimination Method. The hint should be written on the poison's warning label. Maybe.
It is. The way the poison entered Nagito's body, the answer is written on the warning label? I should think carefully and try to remember it. Oh, another logic dive? Alrighty then. As long as this logic dive isn't as hard as the last Hangman's Gambit, we should be relatively okay. But I'm going to take it slow because our health is very low. Don't want to run into any more of these pyramids. Alright. Oh, no. Alright, slow and steady. Slow and steady. We cannot afford to fall and or take damage in other ways at this point because I did so horrible on the Hangman's Gambit. What state was the poison in when it affected Nagito? It was a gas. Or an aerosol, whichever is the more appropriate term. Oh, no. You tricksy logic dive, you. Whoa, 4 that time. Please no jumps. Please no jumps. Okay, I get the pattern now. I think I just finally realized what those shallow sections that don't speed you up are. They're checkpoints. I'm really embarrassed it took me this long to realize that. Oh gosh, get over. Alright, question 2. How did the poison enter Nagito's body? I mean, through his nose, obviously. If it had to be inhaled and not just contact. Otherwise, it could have just settled on his skin and killed him. Okay. Ooh. Come on. Get over. Let's not go too fast. Slow down. There we go. Up. And jump. And jump. Do we have another question? Oh, that was it. Good. Woo!
It's all coming together. What if instead of drinking the poison, we assume he inhaled it?
Inhaled?
It's written on the poison's warning label.
What if he just smoked it and didn't inhale? Yeah, this enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care, though its volatility is low, this liquid is very dangerous when vaporized.
Dangerous when vaporized. In other words, breathing in the gas is fatal.
Poison gas! Then all he had to do was breathe it in through his nose.
Mm-hmm.
He breathed that poisonous gas inside the warehouse?
Now, all we have to do is prove the delivery method, which is almost certainly the fire grenades.
But if poisonous gas had spread throughout the warehouse, why didn't it kill us?
Because Monokuma made us wait until it all cleared out. The reason we didn't breathe in the poisonous gas, I should be able to explain that mystery too. Okay, so it's not the waiting. The sprinklers took it out of the air?
I see.
The sprinklers in the warehouse. Thanks to those, we didn't inhale that poison gas.
The poison gas disappeared because of the sprinklers? It wasn't the fire?
No, the fire was what vaporized it in the first place.
Well, this was also written on the poison's warning label.
In a gaseous state, it is heavier than air, it breaks down in minutes, and is susceptible to hydrolysis. So it is possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications.
Of course! Hydrolysis!
Of course, hydrolysis.
The chemical bonds that form the poison were broken down by the water from the sprinklers.
Thank you for that very astute explanation, Sonia.
Also, the poison is apparently denser than air, so it probably didn't affect us because we were standing.
Stay close to the floor.
But Nagito was laying down, so he must have breathed in a whole bunch of it, huh?
A whole bunch, which is what actually made him drop the spear. Oh god, that's it. That's how he has planned to get someone convicted. He only put poison in one of the grenades. So, he probably tampered with them all because he had to replace what was in them with something that wouldn't put out the fire, but he put poison in one. And so he's trying to make whoever threw that specific grenade the killer. Because the poison killed him, and that was what made him drop the spear. He didn't drop it on his own, which the spear didn't kill him in the first place. But anyway, you understand what I'm getting at. It's very convoluted, but I don't think it's going to work because we've already got precedent on that. Someone who threw it unknowingly was most definitely a weapon and not a murderer.
If it meets the requirements that well, maybe it's not just a possibility anymore.
Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's death was poisoning. The wounds on his body, the spear in his stomach, it was all to keep us from learning the truth.
So what?
Huh?
We figured out that Nagito died from poison, but so what?
Well, it's so what because we haven't shown how the poison was administered, so...
In the end, it doesn't change the fact that he committed suicide, right? Then enough already!
No, you're right about that. It certainly doesn't, but that's what he's trying to do.
Nagito inhaled the poison he prepared and died. Yeah, that still sounds like a suicide.
Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. We've also determined the true cause of death. All right, all the mysteries should be solved now. We should get on with the voting time, right?
Can we ask Monokuma to confirm that? So that we can get absolute certainty as to the cause of death? He probably wouldn't do that, though.
Well, but...
What? There's still more?
I mean, not all the mysteries have been solved yet. In the end, Nagito's motive is still unclear. Did he commit suicide just so he could kill every last one of us? Was that really his motive? Maybe it's just his backup plan. Is that really okay?
Hey, what happened? There's no reason to wonder about that stuff anymore, you know.
It could have just been, honestly, that he was so messed up in the head that he thought that us overcoming this would show the ultimate hope. Nagito's motive, Nagito's malice. Is this really okay? Can we really finish this here? Or... he said that everything was about revealing the traitor. And he's the ultimate lucky student, right? Could he have been counting on his luck to make the traitor be the one who took the grenade that had the poison in it? I mean, that is assuming that we're correct about there only being one grenade that was poisoned. No, that can't be.
There might have been an accomplice.
Yeah, I guess there could have been. Could Monokuma be an accomplice? That's unprecedented, but he has gone to a lot of trouble to cover stuff up. Huh?
Chiaki, what did you just say?
If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling poison that he brought, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime scene?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we know the answer to that.
Anything that looked like poison?
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, It's strange that we couldn't find it there.
If Nagito really brought poison to the warehouse, then the thing that would have been left behind is the container?
I see! Are you talking about the container the poison was kept in?
Yeah. If Nagito brought it, it's strange we couldn't find that container anywhere, right?
Well, we didn't know what the container was, so we weren't looking for it.
He can't carry around poison without putting it in a container?
Yeah, that was written on the warning label.
Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in a glass or plastic container away from sunlight.
The container probably melted in the fire.
I mean, that would be possible.
It's probably plastic or glass, right? There's no way it'd completely incinerate. Even the plastic fragments of the fire grenades we used to put out the fire didn't completely burn up, you know?
Then, does that mean someone got rid of the container?
Nope, you've already hit upon it, Chiaki.
So that's why you mentioned an accomplice.
That is impossible!
I sadly say that it's not.
I mean, an accomplice? It is just too...
Your incredulity doesn't make it impossible.
Like, does that really matter all that much?
I don't think it does, for reasons that we've already stated, being a weapon and not the murderer and so on, but...
I mean, even if he had an accomplice, it doesn't change the fact that Nagito still committed suicide.
You're right. Someone might have accidentally took it away from the crime scene.
Ah, you're right! You're totally right! That's totally it!
Right? Isn't it okay to close this case yet? I'm not in the mood for unexpected twists.
Well, the thing is, whether you're in the mood or not, the twists are going to happen. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to get hurt anymore by hurting someone else. Everyone's tired of doubting everyone else. I also feel that way. That's why I want to just rule this as Nagito's suicide. If I do that, nobody has to get hurt. But...
That's no good.
Huh?
I feel like Nagito is seeing through us. By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone else. But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us. He'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hopes."
yeah, I mean, I will not deny that Nagito was incredibly useful throughout these trials. He was a very clever person. So that was helpful, but...
So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you, huh?
No, please no.
The power of friendship bursts beyond death, huh? A fiery outcome like this is right out of a teen manga.
I mean, if you say so.
Still, that's pretty messed up.
That's pretty close up.
Shut up! You just be quiet.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but in the end, the reason he died is still the same as before, right?
Yeah.
Even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
Even if there really was an accomplice, is there any reason we should take the time to figure out who it is?
Well, there's not actually an accomplice, there's a weapon. It's just like suicide by cop, where you go and charge down a cop or make it look like you're carrying a weapon, or maybe even carrying a real weapon, and make the cop shoot you. The cop is not a murderer. He or she is a weapon. You have killed yourself with the cop.
Like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is possible that somebody accidentally removed the poison from the crime scene.
But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth.
It's fine, okay? There are some things we're better off not knowing.
I don't know about that.
And we probably just didn't notice it. Like maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragments.
Maybe the container was the fire grenade fragments, Akane. You're so close to saying something so important and smart. But at least you let Hajime understand. What is this feeling just now? Even though it was brief, it was like a strong flash of light running through the back of my head. Maybe what Akane said just now might be a clue? From there, I might be able to reach the answer. The way Nagito brought the poison, which means the thing he used as a container was... Oh, Lord. Please don't be as difficult as the last one. I won't get through this one. Okay, well, it's not as bad as the last one. There we go. Oh, darn it. Ah, shoot, I screwed that up bad. And that. Alright, calm down. G, that's what we need. Now R. Go away. Go away. E. I mean, if we can hold on... No, we... Oh, well. Darn it. We could have held on to the end. A, please. Oh, no, shoot. Go away. I hate it when they burst on the side there before I even get a chance to react. Ah, darn it. Go away. Go away. Give me an E before I die, please. Ugh.
I got it! I see. I got it.
Huh?
The fire grenades. Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenade canisters and transported it to the warehouse.
He used one of the fire grenade canisters?
Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away by someone. Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place. As long as he put the poison in the same container he brought to the warehouse, it can be hidden with the other fire grenades we used, so there's no need to dispose of the container later.
That bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades.
Mm-hmm.
Which means, did Nagito exchange the contents of a fire grenade?
Yeah, that has to be it.
I think he tampered with them all so that they wouldn't put out the fire too, but maybe I'm wrong?
When I first discovered those fire grenades, I tried to study them a little bit, but the canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath the lid.
Yeah, we found that.
You just have to peel off that seal and swap the insides, right?
That is true, but there was no sign he was even at the break room.
I mean, what kind of sign were you looking for?
Hold on. Did you say aluminum?
Hajime. Could it be?
Yeah, it could.
If so, then there's no mistake. Nagito definitely swapped the contents of one of the fire grenades.
Maybe you should just ask what color the aluminum was?
Seriously? That's impossible. Miss Sonia just said so right now.
Sonia's words are proof that the poison was swapped with the contents of a fire grenade.
Huh?
I mean, we don't have to go about this in such a roundabout way. We could just say we found that foil. Sonia's words contain a clue that the contents of a fire grenade were swapped with the poison. That was... I mean, it says piece of blue paper in the truth bullet, but over here to the right, we see that it is aluminum. Yeah.
I can prove it with this. Take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage.
Huh? That's just a piece of trash.
Were you not just listening?
No, that is not just a piece of trash.
Thank you.
The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same aluminum.
You found the aluminum seal under Nagito's bed?
There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room. We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too.
Did he use those when he put the poison inside the fire grenade?
It's a dangerous poison after all. He took extreme caution when swapping them.
So what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, brought it with him, breathed it in, and died, right?
No. He put it in the break room. One of us threw it. That's his whole plan. That's his whole thing, is he's trying to get one of us either convicted because we threw the canister or all of us to die because we do this wrong. But I just think his plan is flawed.
So in the end, he still fucking committed suicide.
Yes.
Enough already.
He did. But we had to get to this point to understand what was going on, because we may have to argue that whoever ended up throwing that canister was a weapon.
You're right. If the canister wasn't thrown away, then it just means that there wasn't an accomplice after all.
See, I told you. The conclusion is still the same. Nagito committed suicide. End of story.
I admit that there wasn't an accomplice. That was just my misunderstanding.
You're right.
In actuality, the truth is even more horrifying.
Yeah, in a way.
What did you say?
Hey, what are you planning to say now?
That he's trying to implicate one of us as the murderer, unbeknownst.
What the hell? Do you still want to keep going?
Is this not settled? There is no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
No, it's not.
Chiaki?
I'm sorry, but I just realized it.
Realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade canister to store the poison. So when was it deployed in the warehouse? When did Nagito breathe in the poison? When I thought along those lines, that's when I realized it.
The horrifying truth?
It probably happened at the same time.
The moment the fire grenades were brought, and the moment Nagito breathed in the poison were the same? Yeah. Could that be the same moment when we all threw the grenades?
I see! Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenades?
Yeah, I think so. When we all threw the grenades to put out the fire in the warehouse, the poison was deployed, and it converted to poison gas and killed Nagito.
If that is true, then the person who brought the poison and spread it was...
One of us.
One of us.
But it still doesn't change what happened. He still committed suicide. Whoever threw that particular grenade, if such a thing can even be determined, was just a weapon.
What the heck?
One of us threw the poisoned grenade that killed Nagito?
Hold on a sec. Then Nagito was...
It would mean he didn't kill himself.
No, he did.
What the heck?
And even if we couldn't argue that the person who threw it was a weapon, if that hadn't already been established in the Peko case, then we could argue that he was the mastermind, because only the mastermind is convicted, right? Whoever did it would be an accomplice, not the mastermind, because Nagito came up with the plan.
But you said so yourself! You said Nagito committed suicide!
He did.
Then who killed Nagito?
You mean, who's the actual killer, right?
Nagito's the actual killer. Okay? Please don't confuse this, Chiaki. Nagito's the killer. Whoever threw the grenade was just the means by which he killed himself, okay?
Do you know?
Who prepared the poison fire grenade that killed Nagito?
Nagito. Huh? The person who prepared the poison fire grenade was Nagito.
I see! It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed this a few minutes ago.
Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one of us to throw the poisoned grenade?
Nagito. Thank you, Chiaki. I'm glad you're going this route. Nagito said it? Well, I mean, technically Akane did it, but Nagito set it up to make sure that it would happen.
I see. That was also Nagito.
Hey, how many times are you gonna ask the same damn question?
They're different questions with the same answer, Akane.
The next question will be my last. Considering all the facts up till now, why did Nagito set the warehouse on fire?
So that we would go use the fire grenades. To make someone throw the poison.
I see. Don't tell me. He set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the fire grenades?
The spear and everything else was just a distraction from the poison.
He set the fire just so we'd put it out? Why'd he do that?
I'm really happy that this turned out to be so complex at the end. I would have been really disappointed in Nagito as a character because the little mistakes and things, or things that I thought were mistakes that he made throughout this, actually weren't, so that's great. He's remaining just as insanely intelligent as we knew he was.
It was a trap.
A trap?
Preparing the poison. Creating a reason for us to throw the poison. It was all a setup by Nagito. It was all a trap to make one of us throw the poison grenade.
Seriously, I'm asking you who threw it.
I am curious about that as well, though I don't think it really matters in the end, at least I'm hoping not. But we will continue this and discover who that was in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments and by leaving a like below. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.